Imagine the roar of engines at lights out, hearts pounding as the grid explodes into chaos. But what if one driver's path, once derailed by the mightiest team in F1, suddenly veered back toward that very cockpit, only to swerve away in a heartbeat? That's the electric twist hitting Alex Albon right now, after Red Bull dropped a bombshell statement that could reshape his entire career. We're diving into this story because Albon isn't just any driver. He's the comeback king who's clawed his way from the sidelines to stardom, and this latest curveball from his old bosses at Red Bull has everyone buzzing about loyalty, redemption, and the brutal grind of Formula One dreams. It's not just about seats, it's about a man proving his worth against the odds, and why this moment feels so raw and personal. The fire in Albon's eyes. Think about the fire in Albon's eyes these days. He's not the wide-eyed rookie anymore, but a battle-hardened talent who's poured his soul into Williams, turning a backmarker squad into a midfield monster. The stakes. His legacy, his confidence, and the quiet ache of unfinished business with Red Bull, where he once felt like he was chasing shadows. It's that burning ambition to silence the doubters, mixed with the fear of repeating past heartbreaks, that makes this so gripping. You can almost feel the weight on his shoulders, the pull between gratitude for his roots and the fierce pride in what he's built elsewhere. The shocker of Albon's Red Bull entry. Here's the first shocker that flips everything you thought you knew. Albon's entry into Red Bull wasn't some fairy tale promotion. It was a desperate gamble by a team hungry for stability next to Max Verstappen, but it masked a deeper truth about their flawed driver program. Reports from insiders reveal that back in 2019, after just 12 races at Toro Rosso, they yanked him up not because he was fully ready, but to plug a gap left by Pierre Gasly's struggles, thrusting an inexperienced 23-year-old into the lion's den without the tools to tame it. Data shows he scored only 92 points over 26 races, dwarfed by Verstappen's 278, but what stings is the hidden intent. Red Bull saw him as a quick fix, not a long-term partner, setting him up for a fall that nearly ended his F1 story. The early controversy at Red Bull. And that leads to the early controversy that still echoes. Albon faced not just a beast of a car tuned to Verstappen's alien-like style, but internal politics that amplified every mistake. Remember Brazil 2019? He was on for his first podium when Lewis Hamilton spun him out, a cruel twist that symbolized his whole stint, close but crushed. Contradictions piled up. The team praised his potential publicly, yet whispers from engineers, as quoted in GP blog, suggested the RB16's aero quirks favored Max's aggressive inputs, leaving Albon fighting over steer he couldn't conquer. It wasn't laziness or lack of talent, it was a mismatch that bred doubt, culminating in his 2020 axing after a season where he managed just 2 podiums amid constant scrutiny. Ghosts of the past calling back. But hold on, what if the ghosts of that past are calling him back, and the real mystery is whether Albon's heart has truly healed from the scars Red Bull left? We'll unravel that knot, where the threads pull even tighter. The influence of Guilherme Uvidhia. Digging deeper, the dramatic influence comes from none other than Guilherme Uvidhia, the Thai billionaire holding 51% of Red Bull, whose personal ties to Albon, both hailing from Thailand, have sparked this wild reunion talk. Sources like Formula One News report Uvidhia's been pushing hard for Albon's return since early 2025, seeing him as family after backing his junior career through the Red Bull Academy. This isn't just business. It's a cultural bond that swayed decisions before, like during the Horner saga last year, where Uvidhia's support kept the ship steady. Albon's grown immensely, leading Williams to P5 contention with 54 points already this season, per Formula1.com. But Uvidhia's vision of a Thai-Dutch powerhouse duo adds layers of emotion and strategy. Psychological acceleration and growth. That ambition accelerated things psychologically. Albon's opened up in recent chats, like to Racing News 365, about how his Red Bull days consumed him, burying himself in data to match Max but lacking the experience to ask the right questions. Now, with Carlos Sainz as his Williams teammate, he's unlocked a new level, speaking engineering language that sharpens his edge. It's this strategic growth, born from pain, that makes him a hotter commodity. His stock soared, as he himself admitted, turning down feelers from rivals. Red Bull's bombshell statement. And just when you think it's settling, Red Bull's shocking statement drops like a bombshell. Team advisor Helmut Marko bluntly admitted in a recent interview that their second-seat woes, with Yuki Tsunoda scraping only 7 points in 12 races compared to Albon's haul, have forced them to eye external talents like Alex for 2026. But Albon's response? A firm nod to Williams' future, teasing that his value's risen too high for a risky leap back. What does this mean for Max, for the constructors' fight, and for Albon's soul-searching path? Healing from Red Bull scars. Picking up right where we left off, that lingering question about whether Alex Albon's scars from his Red Bull days have truly faded. Well, the answer hits like a green light on a wet track. He's not just healed, he's transformed, sharing in a heartfelt chat with Racing News 365 how those brutal lessons forged an unbreakable mindset, turning doubt into fuel that powers his charge at Williams today. Redefining failures as building blocks. Now, redefining those so-called failures at Red Bull flips the script entirely. They weren't flops but brilliant building blocks, misunderstood at the time but intentional in hindsight. Insiders from GP Blog reveal how Albon's struggles with the RB16's twitchy handling weren't about skill gaps but a car engineered for Verstappen's razor-sharp style, teaching Albon adaptability that now makes him a master at extracting points from midfield machinery. What seemed like quirks, like his cautious tire management, were actually strategic gems that Williams boss James Vowles calls gold dust, redefining his early exit as a launchpad for resilience that every young driver could learn from. Cultural threads and sacrifices. That ties into something deeper, a cultural thread weaving through Albon's story that sacrificed so much yet influenced the world stage. His Thai roots, shared with Red Bull co-owner Kaler Muvadhia, aren't just heritage. They're a global bridge inspiring fans across Asia. Reports suggest Muvadhia's push for Albon's return stems from a profound cultural pride, but Albon's own sacrifices, like pausing his career in 2021 to rebuild mentally, echo the grit of Thai underdogs rising against odds, rippling out to motivate young racers in emerging markets and spotlighting F1's growing diversity. The paradox of loyalty and future choices. Yet here's the paradox that demands your attention. What if Albon's loyalty to Williams masks a bigger twist, where the 2026 engine regs could shatter his perfect setup and force a heartbreaking choice? Peeling back the layers on Albon's character reveals a man full of hidden depths. His humility shines in symbolic moments, like dedicating his 2022 British GP helmet to the Albon Zoo, his family's quirky pet crew of 8 cats, a dog, and a horse, representing the grounded joy he clings to amid F1's chaos. That symbolism of home and heart, as he shared with F1.com, masks a fierce competitor who's mastered the mental game, turning past criticisms into quiet confidence that signs praises as Team Glue. Insanity behind Williams' turnaround. And speaking of insanity behind the scenes, Williams' turnaround feels like a cinematic production miracle. Testing at hidden gems like Silverstone's wet weather circuits unlocked aero secrets that flipped their 2025 fortunes, with visual symbolism in Albon's blue livery evoking Thai skies for luck, as per his own MDM Designs helmet lore. Crazy facts abound. Their Grove factory overhaul involved 3D printed parts smuggled in under night cover to dodge spies, per motorsport.com, boosting the car's downforce by 15% and letting Albon snatch podiums in rain-soaked races that echo his 2020 near-misses. Closing that paradox with a bang, the transformative truth is that 2020's XS regs might favor Mercedes-powered Williams over Red Bull's rookie engines, positioning Albon not as a returnee but a potential giant slayer, emotionally freeing him to chase titles on his terms. An intellectual shift that redefines loyalty as smart ambition. Albon's financial world and endorsements. Shifting gears to the glitz, Albon's financial world mirrors his grounded vibe. With an estimated net worth around $3 million, he's not flashing billionaire status like some, but his savvy endorsements teach lessons in building smart. He rolls in a collection that screams passion over excess. An Aston Martin Vantage F1 edition worth about $140,000 for track thrills, a practical Honda Civic Type R for everyday zips, and a Mercedes GLE around $75,000 for family hauls, per Sportskeeda reports, showing how he invests in joy rather than show. Watches. He's got a sharp eye for timeless pieces like the Tag Heuer Formula One and Cartier Santos, plus his Casio Edifice ambassadorship, blending luxury with accessibility. Lessons here on diversifying income through brands like PTT Lubricants and Monsoon Valley, turning racing fame into stable ventures like his TMRW Sports investments, proving resilience pays off beyond the podium. If this twist has you hooked on F1's wild rides, dive into our next video on how Sainz's Williams gamble could explode the grid. Hit that subscribe and bell for more insider scoops. Wrapping this up leaves me nostalgic for Albon's raw climb. From Red Bull's harsh boot to Williams' warm embrace, it's a revelation of heart over hype, stunning in its humanity. Picture him crossing that emotional finish line, not just surviving but thriving, A reminder that in F1's whirlwind, true winners rewrite their stories. What a ride! Stay tuned for more twists that keep us all on the edge.